Hey English learner, welcome to this A1 English listening practice video. Today, I'm going to talk about some different customs in the US and in Mexico. I live in both of these countries and I have a lot of experience with the different customs in these different cultures. So hopefully you find this topic interesting. Many people like hearing about my experience living in Mexico because it's interesting to live abroad and experience these difference in culture and in custom. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. And remember that if you want my help to understand fast English, make sure to sign up to become a listening time member so you can watch my listening practice seminars in which I help you understand English when people speak fast. So that link is down below. Okay, let's talk about some different customs in the US and in Mexico. The first thing I want to talk about is meals, eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. These are meals. Let's talk about the different meal time in the US and in Mexico. In the US, lunch is usually between 12 to 1 p.m. Usually, and it's usually not a biggest meal of the day. So sometimes people eat a lot, but often it's not a heavy meal, it's a light meal. So perhaps someone might just eat a sandwich, for example, but people can also eat a hot meal, maybe. It depends on the person, but lunch usually isn't the biggest meal of the day. And sometimes people eat lunch at their office while they are working out or in their cars on their lunch break when they have a break from work. So this is different in Mexico. In Mexico, lunch is later in the day. It's usually between 2 and 4 p.m. So maybe around 3 p.m. on average. And it's usually the biggest meal of the day. This is usually when people eat the most. People might go to restaurants around this time. So you see a lot of people at restaurants at 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. This is very typical. It's common in the US. You don't see as many people at restaurants at that time because that's too late for lunch. In the US, it is too early for dinner, right? In the US, dinner is typically around 6:30, 7 p.m. Dinner is usually served around that time, and dinner is usually the biggest meal of the day. This is when people eat the most. And when I was a kid, I always ate dinner with my family, my parents, and my sister. And we ate almost every day at the same time. We ate dinner around 6:30 and we sat down together and my mom cooked a big meal for us. This was the most important meal of the day for me and my family when I was growing up. In this event restaurant at the Brazil, you see many people at restaurant around dinner time in the US. In Mexico, dinner is later. It's usually between 8 and 10 p.m. maybe. And usually it's not too heavy. It's not a really big meal because lunch is typical the biggest meal. And for example, my wife's family often eats sweet food for dinner. Not everyone does that, but they often eat snack and sweet food for dinner. But there are many different things people might eat for dinner in Mexico, and it's a little strange for many of us. Two things about eating dinner that late. Two things about eating dinner that late. It had to amazing eating dinner at 9 p.m. for example. That's not typical in the US. Alright, let me talk about another custom. The custom of arriving on time or arriving late. In the US, smart people think that is normal to arrive on time for event, parties, appointments, etc.